A stolen base swiped with 2 outs. There, that was Kevin West. We saw and know the speed that Kevin West has. And he swipes second here. It's a 4th stolen base we've seen from either team so far tonight.
Yeah, West
and Rutherford's got one in scoring position now.
West getting his 3rd stolen base of the season. But 2 outs. Alex Kelling popped out. It was an impressive catch.
Yeah, like you said, an impressive play made by the left fielder, Lucas Ruswick. Ruswick's got a lot of power in his bat, but he can feel a little bit too. So here's Rutherford. The Auburn Comets going to step off. The umpire wants time. Still a 1-0 count. No one outside for ball number 2.
And Rutherford hasn't had the most consistent start to his season, but he does have power. Of his 3 hits, one of them being a home run.
Two-0 count. Mason Kings, both the top of their leagues, respective conferences, the ECC for Kings and the GMC for Mason. And Rutherford's got a 3-0 count now. Here in the bottom of the 4th, just over halfway through here at Prasco Park. 3-0 finds the outside corner for strike number 1. And now Rutherford will be looking for his pitch with a hitter's count. Clark wants to keep West in check there at second base. He's got a lot of speed, but it's always tough to steal third base. The 3-1 delivery. Swung on and missed by Rutherford. That's strike 3, excuse me. There was a strike delivered before. And at the end of 4, Comets, tonight's deadlocked at 1, courtesy of a couple of sac flies. Stay with us for the last 3 here at Prasco Park. Sammel coming back out for the 5th inning. This is the longest he's ever pitched in a game so far this season. Coming into today, it was 3 1/3, and he's gone 4 now. And the 1-1 game for Kings that'll be led off by Colin Hunter. Pitch 1 of the inning outside for ball 1.
And getting our first look at Sammel after the 3rd inning. He'll get to test out his control. And
that one skied high. Coming in is Kelling. Going to have to readjust. It'll be West calling him off and taking the first out of the inning. Hunter sat down. and Justin Baker will come up with 1 out and no one on.
Baker, another one of these nights, off to a hot start, only a sophomore.
And he's batting .344. It's about as good as it gets in the 6 hole. First pitch to him is outside ball 1.
Yeah, 3 doubles already on the season, 7 RBIs and 5 stolen bases. He's a complete player.
.10 pitch catches the outside corner, evens the count. And Sammel, last time, was trying to kind of avenge that performance he had. Not terrible, 4 earned and 3 1/3 pitched. Against Middletown, he bounces that one to the dirt. But we know the Georgia Tech commit, and we know he's got better stuff than that.
Yeah, Sammel, he's capable of some of the best pitching that you'll see around. I mean, the first 3 innings didn't let anybody on base, but maybe the arm wearing out a bit as the pitch count's starting to get up there.
He'll deal a pitcher's count now, or hitter's count, now to Baker, a 3-1. Still nobody on. And Baker's going to swing at that one. Foul just a little early on it.
Yeah, and this is where this Comets field is going to need to lend him a bit of a hand, as they did with the Kevin West's pop-up, catching that, because Sammel, his calling card is strikeouts. He had 10 strikeouts against Middletown. I can't stress enough how impressive that is in 3 1/3 innings. But
deal ball 4 out the glove of Brady Bly. And another runner on for Kings now, only 1 out. Coming out to the plate, Thomas Boster. 0 for 1 on the evening. Boster grounds that one, picked up by Rutherford, over to second for 1, to first. Double play made. What a play by Mark Rutherford to get out of the inning. Another 1-2-3 for Noah Sammel. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Comets and Knights tied at 1. Mason Comets and Kings Knights tied at 1. Mason Clark dealing for the ECC powerhouse. And He'll face A.J. Lefton now to start the 5th. Lefton had a single in the first.
Yeah, Lefton was just part of that double play for the Comets that ended the inning.
Yeah, good turn from second base. Mark Rutherford really made that play happen. And the first pitch hits Lefton in the back. That'll fire him up as he'll head down to first base. And once again, they're going to turn it over to the top of the lineup already with 1 on and no out.
Yeah, and a hit by pitch to tie game. Heading into the top of the lineup might just give the Comets the swagger they need to take back the lead. It's Cox coming back up to the plate looking confident. Had the steal earlier in the game.
He's got another good position here. This is how Mason scored. They got a runner to third and a sac fly. That one's popped up, sky to center field. Catch will be made for Paul Kelly, the first out of the inning. And Lefton will stay put at first. Here's the right fielder, Garula, up to the plate. Lefton's going to take off for second. The throw down. He is going to be safe. I talked about Lefton not being the quickest on the base paths. I think he heard me, try to prove me wrong. A stolen base for Lefton. And there's now one in scoring position.
Lefton's second stolen base on the year, but that's definitely one he's gonna be thinking about after the game.
Well, maybe if he goes back and watches the broadcast, he might give me a hard time for that one. I think I deserve it. Runner on second now for Garula.
Sometimes, as commentators, we have good jinx there. That's one of them. The stolen base.
I think it makes up for some of the bad jinx I had. Still guilty for the Brooks Curran first missed extra point of the season 2 years ago. There's now a 1-1 count on Garula. Outside corner.
Clark really needs this out. Hanley on deck. Just had that sacrifice RBI earlier, giving the Comets their only run. Already a runner in scoring position right now.
Garula fouls it back into the net. We'll keep the count at 1-2. Mason Clark's had to deal with some situations. He's only let across 1 run. Pretty impressive. And Lefton and the second baseman, Baker, doing a little dance out there on the base paths. Trying to hold Lefton at second. And that'll force Clark to step off. The 1-2. Drilled over the head of the second baseman. They'll wave Lefton around, and the Comets now have a lead. Brendan Garula, RBI single. Comets lead 2-1. How about the senior, Brendan Garula? We talked about the two-way player. Gets it done on the mound and at the plate.
Garula, one of the top hitters in the GMC so far. Getting his 7th RBI on the season. And Lefton getting that run. I know he's definitely excited about that hit by pitch. Giving the Comets some momentum.
Strike one dealt to Jake Hamley, and Mason Clark could still be in some trouble. Here with a dangerous hitter with a runner on, 1 out.
And Hanley, last time we saw him at plate, had that RBI. Let's see if he can get another. Garula's running.
Now Garula takes off the throw down to second, and he will be safe. Couple of stolen bases now in the inning. Mason really trying to test the arm of Petrie, and it's worked so far.
And Ben, I think we're up to 6 stolen bases total on the game. It might even be higher.
You know, the dimensions are the same, but it's just something about playing in this Prasco Park. And that's strike 3 to Jake Hanley, his second strikeout looking of the game. And you could tell his frustration headed back to the dugout. That's the second out of the inning. Michael Murphy now will step up.
Clark still holding strong even though he gave up that run. Just 3 strikes away from getting out of this pinch.
And they're going to call a balk on Clark. Home plate umpire saw a movement from Clark. And now just 90 feet away is Brendan Garula.
And mistakes like that in a close game like this, especially a rivalry one, I mean, that's a difference. That could potentially be a run or not.
You see Garula and Bly chatting at third base. Bly, got to be proud of the senior taking the lead for the Comets 2-1 in the backyard rivalry. Here in the bottom of the 5th.
Added pressure now for Clark, the runner on third.
Michael Murphy swings at strike 1. This Mason team has done well so far this season with a lead. All 3 of their losses, they did not have a lead. Grounded to third base, a tough play going to be made. Play is made. Michael Murphy grounds out on the play by Palmieri, and that'll do it for the 5th. Clark gets out of it, but not before. Comets take a lead. Brendan Garula, RBI single. Here. The big lefty, Noah Sammel, still on the mound for the Comets heading in to the top of the 6th. That one over the head of Bly for ball number 1. But still going on his career high for innings pitched.
Nice recovery there from Sammel after the high ball. Showing off his fastball.
He will face Petrie, a catcher who had let up a couple of stolen bases in the bottom of the last inning. Swung on and missed. Blown by him for strike number 2. Sammel ahead in the count 1-2.
Petrie, only a freshman. Sammel right now trying to attack him with some of those fastballs he's not used to at the varsity level.
Makes contact into left field. Coming up is Kelly. He'll make the out. The first of the inning. On Tyre Petrie. Paul Kelly coming up now.
Petrie was able to swipe and get contact there. It wasn't clean contact. You have to imagine if that hit the barrel in the middle, that might have been some bases for him.
We'll see what Kelly can do. He's got a base hit on the night. First pitch right down the middle for strike one.
After that first pitch, it looked like Sammel might be losing some of his control, but he's rebounded nicely with these last few pitches.
That one grounded, coming up for an easy play. It's going to be Drew Cox to throw on a first. Was a close play, and he got him. A slow grounder. No problem for the junior Cox. And Sammel is 1 out away from completing 6.
Burdine coming back up. He had the 2 steals in the 4th inning.
Yeah, that was what really led to the sac fly, stealing second and then swiping third as well.
So he's got the only run of the night for the Knights so far.
In there on the outside corner for strike one from Sammel. He's going to attack here with no one on. Top of the lineup here for Kings and the designated hitter. And Burdine. Strike 2. Ahead early in the count, 0-2. Very efficient 6 so far for Sammel. We've mentioned it before, but a beautiful night at Prasco Park. It's packed. One of the nicest facilities you'll see, non-major league, non-professional facilities you'll see. You get the Big East tournament here that happens every year in May. You have the Cincinnati Spikes home field and hosting a lot of great high school and college games. And great facilities, too. It's been a pleasure to broadcast here.
Yeah, I'm really lucky to have this opportunity. I remember growing up, going to Prasco games, Cincinnati Spikes, so kind of surreal to be up here. They've done a nice job expanding the facility. Hard to believe that was 7 years ago when they added the right field bleachers.
That looks good out there in right field. Another ball inside is from Sammel. I believe they'll leave on the count at 2. A 2-2 from Sammel. Thought he caught the corner, but it runs the count full, 3-2. Burdine still alive. To get out of the 6th, 2 strikes on Burdine, way outside. That's the first base run of the inning. With 2 out, Palmieri, batting .344 on the year, is going to have a chance. Start to see some action in the Comet bullpen. You got to think with Sammel coming off the injury, you got to play it safe here. Only 1-run lead, though, for the Comets. In a rivalry game, I'm sure Bly wants to keep his best out there.
Yeah, and I think Sammel's competitive nature might kick in if Clark stays out there for the complete game. Now Sammel has to worry about that base running factor.
Fresh count for Palmieri. Sammel going to look back to first. Almost threw it too wide of Hanley, but Hanley's athletic enough. Mason will be back in action tomorrow at home against the Vikings. They won the first game in that series 7-2 last night. Luke Cattell and I had that call. And that one's popped up in the air from Palmieri. Coming in to get it is West. Calls the infielders off and makes the play for out number 3. Sammel working through 6. Comets lead 2-1. Welcome back to Prasco Park. Comets hold a 2-1 lead in the backyard rivalry. This game looking a lot like last year, a pitcher's duel. In this game, Mason versus Kings at Prasco Park. Mason Clark going against Noah Sammel. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Brady Bly will lead off the inning. Comets 2 runs courtesy of a Jake Hanley sac fly and a Brendan Garula single. Garula looks at ball 1. Excuse me, Bly looks at ball 1. And
Bly had that base hit on his last at bat.
takes 2 straight balls inside. A senior catcher. They like to rotate their catchers a little bit when it comes to Bly and Laughlin. They have a lot of depth behind the plate with Rutherford can catch as well. And Bly's ahead in the count early, 3-0.
Yeah, that depth at catcher gives the Comets some unprecedented flexibility with their lineup. They're able to get their 9 best guys out there and hitting. Rutherford at third, Bly at catcher. You could put a guy at DH, doesn't matter.
Brady Bly looks at ball 1. Had no intent for swinging at that one. He's got a hitter's count now, 3-1. Bly grounds first base past the glove of the first baseman, and Bly's got another base hit on the night to lead off the inning. Hunter couldn't quite make the play, just an inch away from his glove, but it was hit hard.
And a pinch runner.
That's going to be a courtesy runner for the Comets, and high school pitchers and catchers are allowed a courtesy runner in the inning. Anthony Sullick, the sophomore, will be running for Bly. And Sullick, along with Kelling, 2 guys that came into the varsity scene last year just for the tournament to pinch run. They were used a lot. That's the thing in baseball. You got guys who specialize in things like pinch running.
So look at, he's a speedster out there on the bases. Also a basketball player.
And was injured this year, was got to swing JV varsity.
A lot of basketball players on this team, especially in the sophomore class. Jake Hanley and Kelling, varsity starters in baseball, and get some serious playing time on the court as well.
Clark tried to keep Sullick in check. He's a serious threat to steal bases. Along with this man at the plate, Kevin West, still awaiting his first pitch from Clark. Bunt's going to be put down, popped up. That'll just go into the net for a foul ball.
And West, he got a base hit on his first at bat, but then had a failed bunt attempt last time. Interesting to see him go back here. Actually, very similar situation. Had a man on first, no outs.
Mason would go on to score that inning. Bly got it started. It was a strange pickoff move by Clark. Tried to keep Sullick in check, and that is a balk. I mean, that looked a little off to me. It looked like a pretty obvious balk. That's the second balk of the game for Mason Clark.
Yeah, and that one, I mean, there's no debate over that. He fully turned.
I mean, he was fully into his pitching motion, and then his step just went to the left, and that is a no-no.
Oh, they're telling him to go back.
They're calling off the balk, and you see first base coach James Woolfolk, and there's Kurt Bly not happy about the call. I don't know what the Kings head coach came in to talk to the umpires. I don't know what he said there that would have made the umpires change their minds. Like we said, it looks very obvious to us here from the booth. And you can see frustration from Bly. And that's rare in sports when you see that call was changed immediately after the – it's not after the umpires met. It's after the head coach for Kings came out to talk to the umpires. I don't know what he told him. And that'll Wyatt will have said enough. He'll head back to third base. Sullick back to first base. Kevin West still at the plate with an 0-1 count. So here's West again, a little bit of a different situation. No one in scoring position. We still got no one out. Inside evens the count at 1. Talked about West. He went through a huge drought last year, went hitless. But the thing about him, he never let that affect other parts of his game. Still played very well defensively in center field. Like we said, about as good as of a defensive center fielder as it gets in the GMC. And it's nice to see his bat coming around this season. He'll step off, take a time. Sullick will take off for second. A late jump from the shortstop to get over to the base. So no play made. Sullick swipes the 7th total stolen base of this game combined for Mason and Kings.
Ben, you mentioned it earlier. This field, the distances between the bases are the same, but it does feel bigger, and I think the
atmosphere affects it for sure.
Yeah.
But back to West, it's a 1-2 count. Swung on and missed for strike 3, the first out of the inning for Clark.
So Sulik ended up getting his base, despite the balk being called back.
Here's Alex Kelling looking to drive his fellow sophomore in. Kelling and Saw, good friends. So it'd be nice to see. I think Mason fans would agree with that one. Ball one outside to Kelling. Mason Clark working into the 6th inning. Sammel did as well. He's completed 6. That's exactly what we expected, a pitcher's duel. Mason has 5 hits to King's none. And Clark will look back to second base. No threat there. Still a 1-0 count. Nice Michael Scott reference over there on the video board in left field.
Ben, I think that's my favorite addition when we come over here to Prasco's. Their scoreboards.
That one ripped right to the first baseman. Throwing a pitcher, the out's in time. A second out of the inning, but Sullick does get to third base, so now another one 90 feet away. The 2 outs. And out to the plate's Mark Rutherford. Weil talk to the umpire like there's a change, and Rutherford heads to the dugout. And heading to the plate to pinch hit. I believe that's going to be Nick Stroud, the junior. Thought it was a good position for him.
Stroud, he was getting starts in the infield while Drew Cox was injured.
Still getting some innings in the infield. He started last game against Princeton. He's batting .241 on the year, so solid number for the 8th spot. With A.J. Lefton on deck. Runner on third, 2 out. Mason Clark trying to work out of another jam. First pitch swung on and missed by Stroud. Evens the count at 1. Stroud, another one of those middle infielders, makes his home more at second base. He can play in the corner outfield as well. Mason's got a lot of guys that can play a lot of different positions defensively. And that's not even to mention the guys who can pitch and hit. 1-1 taken on the outside corner for strike number 2. Stroud's in a hole now. Got to protect with 2 strikes. Mason Clark trying to get out of the 6th without a scratch. That one's fouled back into the net. Almost hit Stroud again off the comeback. Beautiful night here at Prasco Park like we've mentioned. You can see the banners out in right field. The Big East Tournament headed back here in May. It's a nice night, sitting about 60 degrees with the sunset behind us. The 1-2 to Stroud. Another one fouled off to the right side. That's out of play. A fan might get a souvenir on that one.
Yeah, a lot of kids in attendance tonight. They had some MYO players actually run out and start the game with the players, and there's nothing more fun for a young baseball player than getting a foul ball.
Yeah, they tell you, they made an announcement before the game that you're supposed to give the foul balls back, as that one popped up right to the shortstop. That'll end the inning. Mason Clark has worked through 6, only 2 runs allowed. And Kings, his last chance, down 1 in the top of the 7th here at Prasco Park. Here we go, top of the 7th, last call for the Kings Knights. And Noah Sammel has worked very well through 6. Hasn't given up a hit yet. And it'll be Jack Smith. If you're Kings, this is who you want at the plate to start the inning. Their 3-hitter. Made a lot of nice plays defensively today as well. First pitch is high for ball 1. Smith on the year, batting .289. But he's got 10 RBIs. That leads the team. Another one in there for strike 1. He was the count at 1.
Ben, it seems like every year this backyard rivalry game comes down to the wire. Last year, extra innings. A couple years back, I don't remember the exact year, but there was a stolen base at home to win the game for
That
Kings.
one's popped up a weird play. Hanley on the run. It'll be foul territory. And that one was dove for by Garula, but it just ends up out of play. A long strike makes the count 1-2. Sammel up now. And Garula's still down in right field, I believe. Slowly getting back up, and it looks to be okay. Crisis averted for the Comets.
Garula duel there, put his body on the line for that foul ball. Coach Bly probably got a little nervous. One of their aces.
Jack Smith. 2 strikes on him now. Sammel deals. Strike 3, swung and missed. Smith frustrated with that one. A breaking ball from Sammel. We always credit his velocity, but how about getting Smith out in front and off guard there? He's 2 outs away from sealing this one for the Comets. Lucas Ruswick.
Yeah, that was a filthy pitch there from Sammel. I mean, you don't get to Georgia Tech with just a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Sammel, he's got some stuff along with his velocity.
Oh,
there.
right on cue. Just breaking the knees of Lucas Ruswick. Inside breaking ball.
He might be saving his best for last year, in the last inning.
We've seen some good stuff here in the top of the 7th. Another breaking ball. This time Ruswick lays off for ball 1.
And he's already over 3 innings deeper than he's been all season long.
This high coming in. This one is 3 1/3. He's now in the 7th. He's gone 6 1/3.
This would be one of those memorable performances for Sammel in his senior year.
Another inside breaking pitch for strike 2, and Ruswick's got 2 strikes on him. He's going to have to protect here. And it's not a fun position to be in when you have to protect against Noah Sammel.
No, it is absolutely not. And Sammel, he's one of the he doesn't get rattled very easily. And
strike 3, but it gets away from Bly. Going to have a tough play at first. Gets him out, and we're 1 out away from history for Noah Sammel. And 1 out away from taking the backyard rivalry. Sammel coming off a tough performance at Middletown. Gave up 4 innings and just 3 1/3. 4 runs and just 3 1/3.
Comets looking to avenge last year's tight loss. Trophy on the line.
And the last chance here for Kings is Colin Hunter. And Colin Hunter fouls that one off. Start off 0-1 to Colin Hunter. The first baseman for Kings, swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 0-2's the count. Sammel's a strike away. Worked terrifically all game long. Strike 3, swing and a miss, a no-hitter for Noah Sammel. Coming into this game, the most he's pitched, and the game was 3 1/3. He goes 7 today with 1 run and no hits. Coming off Tommy John surgery, a gutsy performance for the senior, the Georgia Tech commit. What a scene here. Mason takes the backyard rivalry 2-1. Another pitcher's duel. Credit to Mason Clark, but Noah Sammel got the better of him. Brandon Garula gave Mason the lead with an RBI single. And Noah Sammel, that's all he needed. A no-hitter for the senior. And what a night here at Prasco Park.
And an incredible performance there. Comets redeeming that tight loss last season. Sammel redeems his Middletown loss. Now heading back tomorrow, face the Princeton Vikings at home.
That'll do it here from Prasco Park. The Mason Comets take down 2-1. A no-hitter for Noah Sammel. And the backyard rivalry belongs in the 45040. Thanks for tuning in. The director, Adam Little. Camera operators, Matt DeBross, Alyssa Feinblatt, from Andrew Little and Ben Haller in the booth. Have a good night.